We begin this morning with the escalating situation inside Iran. As we've been reporting, demonstrations against the country's theocracy have not slowed. President Trump is now weighing what he calls very strong military options in response to Tehran's deadly crackdown on protesters. More than 500 people are reported to have been killed, the majority of them demonstrators. That's according to activists. And now President Trump says Tehran wants to talk.
Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday. The leaders of Iran called, they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. A meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio joins us from outside Iran's embassy in central London this morning. Ramy, good morning. You know, in Iran, the demonstrations seem to be growing, and I know that there was a weekend incident where you are. What happened exactly?
Yes, absolutely, Errol. Over the weekend, there were about 1,000 protesters here outside Iran's embassy, which opened about 2015 after a hiatus. But people were chanting death to the dictator, down with the Islamic Republic. And then we saw one protester run towards the facade, scale that balcony, and then tore down one of those flags. He then replaced it with a pre-Islamic Revolution flag, and people here cheered, erupted with applause. But this is emblematic of the protests that are happening in Iran across the country right now. As you were just saying, more than 500 people are estimated to have been killed, according to one human rights organization. About 50 of those are security officials, also according to that organization. And this human rights NGO has been accurate in past brutal crackdowns by the regime. They're also saying that, if true, this would be one of the deadliest crackdowns in Iran in the past few decades. Not just here in London, by the way, Errol, but also in Paris, Berlin, around the world. Major cities, protests are happening there. Here, we also heard what some protesters were saying. Let's take a listen.
We've seen videos of people taking the hands of their young children and going to the streets because the people of Iran have nothing left to lose.
Every day, every night, they're on the street, they're chanting against the regime, they want change.
The Western governments need to voice their support for the Iranian people and for the protests that they are conducting across the country.
And those protests now, we understand, have spread to all of Iran's 31 provinces, to at least 186 cities as well. About 10,600 people have been arrested and are now detained in prisons across the country.
And in our last few moments, Ramy, what is the reaction from the Iranian regime?
Right. A stiff upper lip, we can put it that way, Errol. This morning, we're seeing images broadcast on state-run TV of pro-government, pro-regime rallies across various cities across the country. In addition, there are funerals that have been accompanying these. The regime says that those are funerals for protesters. In addition, Iran's foreign ministry said in a statement that its top diplomat, Abbas Araghchi, is open to negotiations with Washington. This, of course, coming after President Trump threatened retaliation for the growing number of people reportedly being killed in the country.
All right, Ramy Inocencio reporting live from London for us. Ramy, thank you.